Welcome to my studying, fellow fans of the written word. Here we are again with last-ish bunch of chapters 30 to 40 of The Great Hunt. First, quick summary.
Let's start right out. Hey, what happened?
We have Hurin, the sniffer, who manages to trace the horn to the manor of Lord Barthanes. Rand, of course, conveniently has the invitation, and there they discover that Fane has taken the horn through the ways to Tolman Head on the Herith Ocean. And Lord Barthanes reveals that to Rand that Fane will wait for him there. And yes, Lord Barthanes is a dark friend. Now, the waygate in his manor that Rand and others try to use is blocked by the black wind, Mashinchin, and it tries to come out every time they open it. Even though Varen the Aes Sedai is kind of dubious about this whole prospect, she says that no one can control the black wind. The next day, we also find out that Lord Barthanes was found dead. By whom? We don't know. Also, there is a bit of an update on Thom. Even though he meets Rand while performing on that same party for Lord Barthanes and his guests. He doesn't want to get involved, but when he comes home, he finds his girlfriend dead because of the great game. His girlfriend was killed, and he also nearly got killed, but he killed the people responsible. And the people responsible were working for the king because they were trying to find out more information about Rand. Also, the king is dead. Moving on, the group tries to use another waygate, which is close to the nearby steading, and there they meet Aiel, which was weird. I'm not sure if that ever gets an update, the Aiel they meet, or they were just random Aiel people who left their waste. Is that their location? Matt is being a dick, but nothing else is new. We find out that Loyal doesn't have an explicit permission to be outside of his steading, and there they try to use a portal stone, and something goes wrong. They do transfer to the location they want to go, but a time skip occurs and 4 months passes because Rand kind of botched the whole thing, I guess. Back in Falm, a curious thing happens. Fane meets the Shanchan Lord, Durek was he? And he kind of tries to sell this story about being a descendant of men who kept the oath to Arthur Hawking. And Fane presents the chest with the horn to the Lord, chest which also has a dagger in it, and the High Lord opens it and he wants to gift it to the Empress, but he doesn't want to touch it himself. And also update on our good Captain Bail Doman, who was taken to see the Lord because one of the Shanchan that's in the court has shown interest in him as a collector of things from Age of Legends, of rare things. Back in Tarvalon, we have more interesting things brewing. The girls have lessons. Nynaeve kind of confirms to herself that she cannot channel unless she's super pissed. But when she does get pissed, things get to explode. Egwene starts to have dreams again. La la la. Not all that interesting, but what's interesting is that Liandrin, the Red Ajah, comes to Egwene and Nynaeve, and she tells them a bogus story that's somewhat true, that their friends are in danger. That's not incorrect, but she has ulterior motives, which is apparent very quickly, and they go to agree with her through the ways, but unexpectedly they bring Elaine and Min with them. And when they come out of the ways, they are, well, not ambushed, but met by Shanchan, and it kind of instantly clicks that, Liandrin is apparently a Black Ajah. And Nynaeve and Elaine manage to escape, but Egwene and Min are captured, and they are given those slave collars, damane, right? And that's the quick summary. Now, burning questions that I have. Number 1, what is exactly Padan Fane's goal? So far, his motivations are super vague. Are his motivations fueled by madness, which comes from desire for revenge, but he was mad before he tried to get revenge on Rand? Or is it the other way around? I'm still not sure about his scheming and his kind of main goal. I still enjoy him as a villain, I'm just kind of not too sure about what's up. Also, question number 2. Varen mentions traveling in how did she put it? Traveling. Yes, she explicitly mentions literally traveling, and the way she describes it is as another type of instant transportation. Is it like teleportation without the ways, without the portal sounds? What is it? Another lost art, something before the Age of Legends? It's a minor thing, but I'm still curious. Another question. So, Rand is another incarnation of Lewis Theron, the hero. And when Rand botched his traversal via Portal Stone, he and others underwent this kind of visions they had, where they lived other lives in which they had different things happen to them. It was like the road not taken moment, where he saw himself becoming a professional soldier, a tyrant, different things. And my question is, what did others see? We saw what Rand saw. We saw potentially a hint of maybe what Matt saw by the way of his comments, but I'm curious if will it ever be revealed what others saw. Also, did they really age for months, or were they stuck in some kind of stasis? Was that just this vision? Was it a side effect of Rand's winging it, not being sure about what he's doing exactly? He's going on by instinct at this point still. Another question. Black Wind. I still don't get it. I understand that Fane is much more stronger than he used to be, but if he is controlling it, how does he do it? Another character question. Is Tom angry at Rand specifically? And was he the one who killed the king? Which is, I think it was kind of hinted strongly, but not confirmed. Another question is, who killed Lord Barthanes? So did the Dark Friends want to cover their tracks? Because Lord Barthanes did reveal the information to Fane, but was that information meant for him, or what's the deal there? And of course, a very obvious question, but Moraine didn't send the letter, did she? That was kind of obvious. Also, Shunchan. Who is the master they referred to during that dialogue scene? Some kind of master. Is it just a rank? Is it an occupation? What is it? Is it like the lord? A lord? Another question about Shunchan and Damane. Do they want the girls they captured specifically? Or are they just interested in increasing their numbers overall? Are they just hunting Aes Sedai, young and old, novices and sisters, fully risen sisters? And also, why are sisters so unaware of these happenings? I understand that this did not happen in front of Tar Valon. It happened outside of Waygate when they were thousands of miles away. But is there, I wouldn't say incompetence, they do seem like a very competent group, but is it the fact that there's so much turmoil because they have these different Ajah that it makes it difficult to make kind of fast decisions, be more aware of the surroundings and schemes? But again, it is their business to intervene and know what's happening. They are very much like Bene Gesserit in that way. So, but I guess no one is infallible. Every group, every organization has its flaws. Now let's move to what I liked. I liked that bit, which it's a small thing, but it added sort of to the flavor of characters, like Perrin sort of reminiscing about how much he enjoys juicy meat all of a sudden. Yeah, I like vegetables, but a bloody steak, no, that would be something right now. Also enjoyed Perrin poking fun at Matt that one time, kind of taking him down a notch. That was fun. Matt definitely deserved it. I also liked a part where Rand and others were reliving their lives and the different outcomes that came with it. I think it was written in a very similar way to that scene with the flies at the beginning of the book where time was resetting. That was actually a very effective bit of prose on Robert Jordan's part. Also, I'm like a broken clock, but I still don't like Matt. But the way he reacted about not revealing the secret to Rand, and instantly knowing that in some of the iterations he did do that, I hope that Matt was a bit humbled by this part. I hope it kind of got to him just how much responsibility is on Rand's shoulders, and Matt isn't the only person with problems there. I also enjoyed the Great Game very much. My predictions did not come true that the whole climax of the book will happen in the manner, but I did enjoy the time Rand spent in the party, and especially that part when he's ambushed by the three cougars, and that was interesting. I also enjoyed the time we spent in the Zofu setting, which I kept calling the tofu setting. I loved everything about it. I'm a sucker for Ogier. I love their culture. I find them just delightful. Also enjoyed Nynaeve. Her temper is apparently her superpower. I call it Nynaeve Jitsu when she gets pissed, because when she gets pissed, heads just roll. Now, what I didn't like. A few things. I did not enjoy Dina, whatever was her name, Tom's partner. I thought she was frigid, and I usually don't object to a character dying. If anything, I expect it. The stakes need to be high. Anyone can die, especially a side character. But my problem is, we knew enough about her that she started to become interesting. But just when she started to become interesting, she was killed. And she was killed at a point where I personally didn't care enough. So it did nothing for me. I rolled my eyes at that point. I understand that it was meant to motivate Tom, but I thought this was kind of a very cliche way to deal with motivation. I did not also enjoy that, apparently, to be fair, it was a short-ish chapter, but that part with the girls traveling the ways to Tom and Head, it was pretty dull because we kind of already had so much traveling through the gates. It was Also, I am trying really hard not to beat the same old, tired drum about Matt. But him being a dick to Loyal for no reason... I'm not a humorless person, and I enjoy characters that elevate moments of grimness. But he's just, at this point, extremely unlikable. Something also that I mentioned in the last video, melodrama, that part with Gilad and Egwene, that just a bit eye-rolling. I don't think Robert Jordan is that good at writing romance, at least not yet. Maybe that will improve. Also, one major thing which I think will become also a part of my review when I get to it, of the whole book. This is something I didn't notice in the previous book, but I do definitely feel it here. The passage of time. Now, I'm not talking specifically about that time where the time skip happened. That's very clear. What I'm saying is, we don't really get a clear picture of the passage of time between different POVs. So just general jumping between the White Tower and Rand and others. There is no clear apparent flow of time. Is it all happening at the same time, in parallel? Does it even matter? I don't think Robert Jordan did think it was maybe important. Maybe I'm just nitpicking, but I did get a strong feeling of, wait, did this happen at the same time Rand was at the party, or did just the time where girls were training blend into one long stretch of time because it's meant to represent, the everyday, day in, day out monotony of that. Also, Rand is in denial about a lot of things, and I think he should tone it down a bit. I'm not saying he should be this stoic, cold badass, but I understand that he's conflicted and he doesn't want to be a toy of fate. I like this about him, but Robert Jordan is getting a bit too repetitive with his internal struggles because they get repeated all the time, maybe too much. And last segment are predictions.
Well, it's only a guess, but it's all I have to go on.
So we get a feeling that Liandrin, the Aes Sedai, and Surath do not get along. So, will this be a source of conflict in the future? Mayhaps it will be, mayhaps it will not. Prediction number 3. Very obvious one. Liandrin is Black Ajah from the prologue. Now, the fact that Liandrin is Black Ajah was quite obvious, but I think she is the Black Ajah that was mentioned in the prologue. And prediction number 3, Nynaeve will try to free Egwene. I'm not sure if it will be successful, but one of them will certainly run away to help Rand. And that's it. Thank you for watching and see you next time.